Chair, the show where faith meets leadership. In each episode, we sit down with Christian CEOs who are shaping Zambia with vision, integrity, and purpose. Today, we open our series with a remarkable leader, Sunga Mwindula, CEO of Premier Safety Zambia Limited, a man whose journey is as inspiring in the boardroom as it is in his walk with Christ. Join us as we step into his story, one of business, belief, and bold leadership.
My journey began when I was born in 1972 on the 14th of October. Born from Mr. and Mrs. Jennifer Mwindula. My dad is late. My mom is still surviving. And born from a family of 10, being the firstborn. Went to school, started on the Copper Belt, Luapula, then Lusaka, completed my grade 7, then moved on, Lusaka, Southern Province, Copper Belt, completed my grade 12 at Chifuvu Secondary School. And a short while, I joined the Ministry of Education, where I taught for 2 years. And from there, I was called because I'd applied for interviews for a job in the banking sector. 1997, I then joined Barclays Bank then as a clerk, and that's where I spent most of the time in banking. I'm a professional banker. I did various trainings within the bank until I rose to senior position as head of commercial services. And separated with the bank on voluntary separation in 2010 to start Premier Safety in 2011. That's where my journey begins. I had a very good job, I must say, a well-paying job. And I think there come a time in life when you aspire to be on your own. And during my time in the bank, I tried so many businesses, and it's from that I realized that I was failing to do my side hustle full time because of the hectic job that I had, which was so demanding. And when there was this opening for voluntary separation, I applied. But it wasn't automatic because during my banking career, I'd always been an A player in the bank. I was one of the most dependable. I was one of the best managers there. I got a number of awards. Even in the year that I wanted to voluntarily separate with the bank, my rating in that year was still A, even at senior management. So you can imagine it wasn't automatic that my application would be approved. However, I had a desire to leave the bank, and I was pleading to leave. Unfortunately, my name was included because I had also some health issues. So based on the health issues which I had advanced, the bank opted to let me go based on that. And I left and started Premier Safety January 2011. So the motivation was that I needed more time to do things of my own because I knew I had the energy and I needed to do something whilst I was still young. I had given myself a target that by the time I'm 40, I should be running my own business, and I looked forward to being a successful business person and just dedicate my full time into business. Just from the family, being the firstborn and having 9 siblings behind me, I would say I was born a leader. And I remember very well nursing some of my my siblings and parents would not be there, and I would be left in charge to make sure that I feed them, bath them, take them to school. Sometimes I would have sleepless nights because some of my siblings were very, very troublesome in the night, and that's where I saw my leadership skills began from. In the bank, I excelled, to the senior most position that I held. It's all because of my determination to driving performance. And through that also, I knew that I would not fail in business because I had also encouragement from a number of friends of mine who saw me strive to do various things whilst I was working. And even through what I was trying, to do, I was very successful. And all I knew is that the moment I stepped out of formal employment and have, 24 hours at my fingertips, there is no way I would fail in business. So I was really determined, and you should have seen me, how excited I was on the 31st of December 2010 to leave the bank to go and venture into something that I was looking forward to. For me, I can tell you my love story began in the bank. I will forever be indebted to Barclays Bank because I did not just acquire the expertise, the knowledge that I use, the wisdom that I use from the bank. The bank also, I met my wife through the bank. She was a client there. So I'm forever indebted because I met my wife there. And you can imagine from that, we've got 4 beautiful children together. I'm so proud of my wife. She's been very, very supportive even to this day. When we started this business together, we've always worked diligently together to strive to take the company to greater heights. My father was a church elder. He was a preacher of the gospel. Just from childhood, he was very passionate about us going to Sunday school, and we would walk long distances. I remember very well in Mansa. We would walk very long distances to go to church, but we made sure that every Sunday with my siblings, we even had a baby pram which could accommodate even 3-4 people on that baby pram, and I would carry my siblings going to Sunday school. So, however, my faith grew in 2001, the same year I met my wife, and when we went to Copperbelt, when I was transferred from Sunga to Copperbelt, I had to rededicate my life because I was just, a Christian, and I realized that I needed to make good with my Lord, and that's when I renounced my faith in the Lord and began to participate in church programs in Kitwe, at Kitwe Central under CMML, the Brethren Church. And from there, I've always been in church leadership and just making sure that I'm working for the Lord. From the time, I was in the bank, I met my wife in 1999. That's when we met, almost 2 years into my banking career. And we were friends for quite a long time until 2001 when we decided to tie knots, and immediately then we moved to the Copperbelt, and that's where even my faith grew into the Lord. I can say that I've been investing both trying to do something to supplement what we were, even when I was working. I was also investing in my wife. I made sure that I took her to school. Even on the Copperbelt, she went to CBU to do business administration. And we've always done things together. Whatever trying businesses that I tried, I always engaged her to make sure that we had a side hustle, because I was in corporate and managing a number of corporate clients, and I saw various businesses from there. And it was my desire that one day I should be able to run my own business, because there's no way, you're looking after 8,200 corporate accounts and then you don't have one corporate account yourself. So that was a big challenge to me. And I saw businesses start from young to large businesses. Some developed from small to medium, some to large, some developed from small to large business. I saw all that in my eyes. And that was the challenge during the time I was in the bank, because I interacted with a number of clients and visited a number of clients. I saw this vision of starting Premier Safety on the Copper Belt, because I realized the gap that was there between the owners of the various companies and the people who are working for them, lacking PPE, and would find out to say, why are you keeping your workers in this manner? And they would just brush it off to say, no, we give them PPE, but they sell it. And you would hear the murmuring from the workers, and you would know that there's just a big problem. People are just interested in money and not the well-being of the biggest asset of any company, who is the human resource. And when I saw this gap, I had my desire to just make sure that we bridged this gap of providing quality safety solutions to various industries. When we set up Premier Safety in 2011, just barely a month after I left employment, we had a mission of making sure that we became the premier provider of personal protective equipment and services in Zambia and the region, and assist customers to achieve enhanced well-being to our corporate, strengthened through the application of leading safety solutions. And we had one motto that we came up with of making sure that we will not compromise on safety when we will not compromise on quality when it comes to safety. So we went into the market by ensuring that we provided quality, which will not be compromised. And even if it meant having 10 clients, who would then ride on the 10 clients to make sure that we retain these 10 clients to support our business. And so we set up the first operations in Solwezi, because Solwezi was booming as a next copper belt. So immediately in 2011, I had to leave my family in Lusaka and told them to say, we'll start this business from Solwezi. If it means us relocating, we'll relocate. But if you guys don't want, the business will start from that side. And it wasn't easy, leaving the family behind and going to look for a place to set up a business. It wasn't easy. I remember staying there for almost 2 months, making sure that the building, that we had partnered with somebody was complete. And we began our operations on July 14th of 2011. We opened our doors, and it was overwhelming in Solwezi, because it was the first of its kind. We were providing safety from head to toe, and we brought in staff that was of high quality. I remember very well, we started with one of the companies where we imported our goods in Ireland, and our container came through, and we attracted all the big companies in Solwezi to start buying from us. And that's how we started, and the successful journey. From Solwezi, 2015, we had challenges in Solwezi because of the partner that we worked with to partner in terms of starting up completing a building that was incomplete, so that we don't pay rentals for a longer period of time. We should have been there for 5 years in the property, but because of misunderstanding, we only stayed in the property for 2 years. So we started business with challenges, you see, but we had to persevere through those challenges. And in 2015, when things could not work out very well in Solwezi, we had already started bit by bit in Lusaka. 2012, we were already established in Lusaka, and my wife was I was also running that on the sides. And when we closed in Solwezi, we came back to Lusaka. We also started the factory. We had to supplement it with a factory. And we started with one teller, but now we have almost 25 people in the factory with one machine. We have over 30 machines now. And even during COVID, the factory is what kept us running, because, imports were very, very tricky that time to bring in imports, and we just thank God for the diversification of the business from trading into manufacturing, because it was part of our strategic plan to transition into manufacturing. And so far we've been servicing a number of big organizations with our factory. We do uniforms for various industries. PPE means personal protective equipment, and this is a protection that is related to humans as they are working in adverse condition areas that require protection. Safety is wide, and in all sectors there is a component of safety, ensuring that in fact they say safety comes first. However, human beings need to be protected when they are working in adverse environments. Even from a home, there is safety that has to be taken care of, and that has to be practiced in the kitchen. As you work, even cook on the stove, you need a rubber mat to protect you from electrocution. You need safety to quench the fire in case of any fire. You need a fire blanket, you need a fire extinguisher. So there are various accessories that go with protection to human beings when they are working in various sectors, name it industrial, commercial, defense forces, mining, which is the common one because everyone associates safety with mining, but there is safety everywhere. Agriculture, you name it, hospitality, medical, and we deal with all that, even marine safety. So for us, we've got a wide spectrum of products that cover all these. And the good thing is that part of the so-called competition, although we don't believe in that, we believe in networking, because of some of our competitors who have just specialized in one kind of safety. We find ourselves that the same competitors are referring clients to us, because when they see anything that they don't understand, they will refer a client to us. Because for us, we cover safety for all sectors. So from individuals, as in do it yourself, if you've got a garden boy, a security guard at home, it means that you're a client. You obviously come for a work suit, for a gumboot, you come for gloves to make sure that you equip your worker with a protective wear. Even as they work in the garden, they are protected. Your security guard, we can provide the combat boots, we can provide the combat uniform, everything that relates to security. It means that we are able to provide. When it comes to medical, I mentioned during COVID, that was one period that our company got well known to most of the corporates, because we were able to make COVID protective wear, which we donated and supplied to various organizations, and it was being used in various places, hospitals, to fight COVID. So we really contributed a great deal during that period, because imports, like I mentioned, were restricted because of COVID, and we had to come up with innovative ideas to make some of this protective work gear to protect our medical personnel. And most corporates came on board to procure these products to fight COVID by donating to various hospitals and the Ministry of Health at large. So we've always been innovative to just make sure that we are coming up with products that that will help our clients to protect them. We do beehive suits for those who are keeping bees for honey. We do the protective full gear for those who are doing beehive. We service a number of seed companies, as you know. That's agriculture area. They need protective wear even as they are working on the various farms. There is protection for their nose to make sure even as they are spraying those herbicides, they are protected from using respirators. They need gloves, they need eye protection. So it's all combination from basically head to toe. And when you look at protection, even the defense forces, they need protective wear. When you look at the hotels, you are in the hospitality industry, in the kitchen there's a lot of protective wear that is required. The cleaning companies are our clients. Those who are into metal fabrication, they are our clients. Even those who are into construction, they are our clients. So everyone, from do-it-yourself to all the sectors, and we invite upon all sectors to reach to us on how best we can help them for some of the tailor-made product. Restaurants, not excluded, they are all our clients, and we service a number of restaurants, on the market. I believe in Colossians 3, 23 to 24, which says, whatever you do, work at it all your heart as working for the Lord, not for human beings or masters. And for me to drive this belief into colleagues that we work with, that whatever we are doing at Premier Safety, it's God first. And what we do, we make sure that, even with my wife, we are doing it as if we are doing it unto the Lord. Mm-hmm. We face a number of challenges because for us it's God first. Whatever we are doing, we have to delight the Maker. First value is what we are doing. Is it glorifying God? And for us, when we look at the team in the factory, it means that we are looking after lives. They also have families. And I'm a perfectionist. I love perfection in everything that I do because our God is a perfect God in everything. There's excellence in everything that we do, and we want to drive that so that we can glorify God. And sometimes it's not easy to drive that agenda of pleasing God and just making sure that whatever we do comes out, first notch, as in quality. And sometimes in driving that agenda, you find that people think you're troubling them because we want perfection in everything that we are doing. So that's one of the biggest challenge that we face, and some who can't withstand the pressure of just making sure that what we produce is of high quality, not substandard. You find that some can't contend to that. No, our boss is too difficult. But what we want to impress is God first before even the client, to make sure that once you get that product, is it worth the salt? Is it worth the value that you are paying for it? Are you able to come back and buy that product again? And that's what we've seen. We've actually been blessed with a few clients that we've serviced that have gone out there to market our products because of the quality that we've invested in it. So my leadership style is that of a team leader. You see, I've told some of the workers that let me know if you can do it, because then I'll do it. And I'll show them that it's not about being a CEO. It's about working together, driving one common goal as a team. Together, when this company grows, they are the ones that will will even benefit more, because we look forward to even floating some of the shares to the workers, once this company grows. So we would want them to own part of Premier Safety. We would want them to be part of Premier Safety. And in so doing, it means that you bring everyone on board to see the vision of being a one-stop shop for all safety solutions in Zambia, and being proud to work for Premier Safety in service provision and quality provision. 2001 was just a year of new beginnings, a new wife, a new job, on the copper belt, where God even made me see this vision for Premier Safety. And I became so intimate with the Lord there, because I found some of the brothers that we used to congregate with in Lusaka at Sunday school church, and I found them strong in the faith there. And through Quito Central Church, CCMML, we just created that bond of unity, and just making sure that we were in fellowship, because we found a great number of brothers and sisters in the Lord there, and we got encouraged, and we began to do things for the Lord. I got baptized there as well. So when I was coming back into Lusaka, my faith had really grown, and by the time we're coming to Lusaka, into my senior position, I was already a believer, and everything that I did made sure that I was doing it unto the Lord. Running a business is not easy, and oftentimes we face difficulties. COVID period was one of the most difficult periods. And I remember very well when I was sharing the vision with my wife to begin the manufacturing factory. We had to rent a machine from church, because she had started a project at church to train women, and in tailoring. And then at one point, the machines were just idle, because the trainer whom she had engaged got some other engagements, and she was in the process of trying to fine-tune and look for another trainer to train the women, in tailoring, which was a passion to empower women. And I had to convince my wife that I think let's begin to rent that machine from church, the one industrial machine. There are the other machines, the manual ones, but we opted just to rent an industrial machine, which was just one for church. And even with that decision, it wasn't easy, because for me, I saw an opportunity to take this industry to greater heights. And we agreed. We even paid, I think, maybe 6 months for that machine. And I would tell you that the amount that we paid for 6 months in terms of rental could have actually bought 2 machines, brand new machines, but we opted to do it for the Lord. And that machine, we employed, I think, 3 people to start with, who could help out with the many tailor-made products requests that we were getting from various clients. And that board decision, today as we talk, during COVID, is the business that made us survive. Because if we had relied on imports, we were not going to make it. There were no imports that would have been coming for us to continue trading. But we survived during the COVID period because of our factory. And during the COVID period, we employed the most workers. At one time, we would have 30, 40 people working in the factory. We never closed during COVID. We had more business, and we were working even sometimes shifts, 2 shifts, day and night shift. And we had to invest in some of the workers that would get sick, would test positive. And we sacrificed as a company to make sure that they received adequate treatment, which was expensive, But we had to do it for our workers. And most of our workers survived during the COVID period because the company was so involved in making sure that the well-being of our workers and the practices that were shared to be practicing by all companies were followed. So that was one of the board decisions that has actually made Premier Safety to where it is today and has grown the market. Philippians 4 verse 13 says, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. And every time we are faced with challenges, we have to face to God. Because even in Matthew 6 verse 33, it says, first seek the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you. And for us, we've seen God at work in our business. There are some businesses that we've refused to do because possibly they are dubious. And for us, because of our principles and our faith in the Lord, we've declined some of those transactions. I recall also at one time, our last born child, the baby girl, only 4 years old this year, she was involved in a very terrible accident, and actually we could have lost her. Madame traveled to the farm with a vehicle, and I was going to follow later in the evening. So they started off with the children, and I was to join them. And whilst at the farm there, I think they were busy loading stuff to go to the place where they were supposed to lodge. They kept loading stuff in the vehicle, and not knowing that where the vehicle was parked, it was on a slope. So I think due to some of the weight, the vehicle had to roll back. And you can imagine there was just my daughter in the vehicle. And by God's grace, the vehicle went and hit into a tree. And after that tree, there's a big slope. It's a valley. The vehicle could have even rode 5-6 times before it got onto the stream. And it was during rain season. I think it was Christmas, during Christmas Eve last year. We could have lost our daughter. And so when I joined them in the evening, she's the one who was even narrating the story to me, because the mother was very, very devastated. Daddy, I went in the car and the car hit into a tree and almost died. You can imagine, 4-year-old. And when I looked at the vehicle, the rear window screen was gone, the door was gone, the vehicle was damaged, and they couldn't even move. And we had to give a police report. And you can imagine when we went to the police to narrate the story, the police mentioned, no, can we change the story? And I told the police officer to say, we can't change the story. We are children of God, and we have to say it as it happened. Whether insurance will honor it or not, the story has to be exactly what we are telling you. No, because we need to know whom we should charge, because we can't charge a child of 4-year-old. So I said, wow, find a way of whom you should charge. If you want to charge me as a parent, charge me. If you can't charge a 4-year-old child because she was alone in the car and you don't know what she could have done with the car there, then charge somebody. Charge the one who was driving the vehicle, who parked it at the hill. So he had to call his supervisor to consult. And the supervisor told him to say, no, charge the driver for negligence. Because, the police always want to have a fine. The cause of the accident must always lead to someone to pay for it. And they want to make money, obviously. And so that's how the mother was charged, and we paid, I think it was 400 kwacha for that charge. And they gave us a receipt and a police report. And we submitted our claim to the insurance company. And the insurance company was kept on back and forth, this back and forth thing. We got quotations, no, this, that, and then at the end of it all, they gave us a regret that they are not able to fix the vehicle because it was our own negligence. And it's because the cost of repairs, I think, were exceeding 70,000 kwacha to fix the vehicle. And yes, our faith costed us. But for us, it's the truth. And we could not change the truth. There are many instances where we stand on our faith and we've lost out businesses, and that was also one of them. And for us, we'll continue to be faithful to the one who is mighty.
How we met? I think it's by God's grace. Christian with ladies that are running businesses with their husbands. I think there's a certain foundation that as women we can play through, towards our husbands. Running a business with the husband, it involves communication. You should be able to share openly your feelings. You should be able to share your thoughts and your goals. And the other thing, it also involves support. Wherever he's down or I'm down, we are able to uplift one another and the other foundation that it involves a respect towards one another. We respect each other's values, perspectives, and our strength. And also the other foundation I'd want to leave with the women is the unity. As you are working with your husband, we should be able to work towards the common goal that can build the partnership between the two of us. And so that's the legacy I'd want to leave for those that are working with their husbands, especially if you're a Christian woman. You should be able to stand on those foundations and move with it.
I think for me, it's all about integrity first. In all what we do, we must strive high integrity in making sure that we set the foundation right. Mm-hmm. And once the foundation is set right, everything falls in place. Good leadership, it means that you are part of the team. We should be able to honor our greatest asset in any company, who is human resource. So respecting one another, appreciating the values that they bring to the company, mm-hmm. and being able to recognize and appreciate performance, mm-hmm. which we often do from time to time in appreciating and recognizing our faithful workers, and also just being human-centered, that we cannot do anything if we don't appreciate those that we are working with and embrace them, be with them in challenges. We are basically a family. You see, we spend most of our lives together. What we eat is what they eat, because we are one family. You cannot be family. You are spending 8 hours as a team. Mm-hmm. So it has to be a family at work. Philippians 4 verse 13 encourages all of us that we can do all things through Christ who strengthens us. And if we can all lean on Christ, nothing is impossible with God. Mm-hmm. So the first foundation is to know God. And He provides our needs. Sometimes you don't need capital. All you need is, first of all, to talk to God and listen to God. And He will give you the direction. Mm-hmm. God always provides. And there is no hard work that has no results for labor. For us, we've seen our hard work through our labor, and we've yielded results through our labor. So it's hard work, not to give up, to keep on persevering. You see, one good thing about trying is that right now with my partner, we can say we know maybe over 100 things that we shouldn't do in business.
Yeah.
Which is experience. And so by anyone confining in us to try and find out how we've reached this far, they will be avoiding the 100 things, probably the mistakes that we've tried and made. And they will be beginning, a successful journey from somewhere where they may not struggle that much. So our experience in this business journey has been rough, like I mentioned, just from the onset when we started the business. We partnered with someone who denied us to have access to the property that we developed together. And you can imagine, sometimes you can give up. During my trying moments, also when I left employment and I was having all these challenges, I had also other offers. Banks calling me, no, we want you to come and work with us. Some even my former employer, I got a call that they will even double my salary. That can be tempting. But when you set your goals right, I can tell you, we are now over 40 employees that we are looking after. It's not easy. It means that that's a huge wage bill that we pay. And for now, it's like I'm not even employable. You see, because of the main challenges or the burdens that we have at our shoulders to make sure that this company succeeds. So that drive, you just have to keep pushing and pushing hard.
I think it's all about passion. If you've got passion, you're passionate about something, go for it. But also the other thing, put God first. In all you do, like he said, put God first. Yeah.
It's all about perseverance. It's all about God. It's all about not working in isolation, but through networking.
It's all about putting God first and making sure that you are aligned to what you believe in. Without that, you can fall off.
What is it for you, early bed or night owl?
Night hour and early bed.
Tea or coffee?
Tea.
What book have you read that changed your life? So,
The Big Daddy.
your favorite Bible verse, Mom?
Ephesians 2, verse 15.
A CEO you admire?
It's our president, Bishop Dr. George Mwindula, great leader and inspirational.
Great. Your go-to worship song?
I will praise, even in my darkest time.
What's always on your desk? Pass.
Diary?
What's always on his desk?
Diary. A diary.
Diary, certainly, yes. Things to do, yeah.
The phrase you often use as a leader?
Team leader.
If not CEO, what would you be?
Team leader.
If not your husband, what would he be?
Preacher.
You're saying he can't be a preacher,
Pastor. Because he told me if I want to marry, I'll be a preacher.
Oh, so the last one here is you describe him in 3 words.
Oh, he's a frank man, and he's direct. He doesn't hide anything. Yeah. He's so loving. He's not 3.
Yeah.
He's so loving.
Great. So you're trying to say 3 things about her.
a great friend, a great wife, an intercessor. That is her.
Okay. Lastly, what's that one thing that is most surprising about you?
Most surprising thing about me, I think.
You're thinking.
He has no fear. He can speak to anyone, whether you're black, white, or what, in the same language, and people will just get him.
Thank you so very much for giving us a glimpse into the light side of your lives. Sunga, Mwindula, and Lontia, thank you for being such a powerful and an authentic voice.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm sure many others will aspire, will call on you for guidance in their business journey and wanting to thrive as a Christian, as a businessman, as a CEO. It's been a pleasure from the team having to interview you and have a chat with you. This has been the Big Share. Viewers, continue to watch this program. From the team here, it's bye-bye, God bless, stay focused, get inspired, be the leader you want, but in faith. Bye-bye.
Thank you.